universe where in 1865 the 13th Amendment was never ratified because slavery itself never existed. A universe where in the 15th century the slave trade did not commence. A universe where America was not used for profit and stayed as a distant landmass. But this is not that universe. We live in a universe where slavery is a part of our history, where after a brief attempt at integration by electing a few black men to office in the 1870s, all of that was stripped away and Jim Crow was the new slave master. Where reparations were never paid for the centuries worth of labor, and I mean centuries. We live in a universe where 155 years ago, black people's lives were owned. This wasn't a long time ago. A long time ago would be in 1916 when 20 slaves were brought to the shore of Jamestown, Virginia. That was 401 years ago. Those 200 plus years are only the period of slavery, not the period of senseless racial violence, not the period of the KKK or institutional segregation or the repeated use of the N-word, or the period of MLK and Malcolm X. Isn't it a shame that all of the things that I just listed, the only things that are truly gone, are the black leaders that were fighting to end the rest of them? There's another universe where our treatment wasn't dependent on race. But since this isn't that universe, we can't ignore race. We are here not because we want to be, but because we need to be. Not because we feel entitled, but because we have experienced it. From the outside, from the inside. There's another universe where kids don't experience this. Maybe we can't have that other universe, but we can try to at least make this one a little bit better. Thank you and welcome to our stream. Let me introduce myself. I'm Giovanni, and I'm joined with Ariana and Daniela. Please, hello. You guys.
Hi.
Let me start we're gonna be posting, for those that don't know, we're gonna be posting a lot of resources throughout this entire stream, and I'm about to start a slideshow that shows a few of those sources. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. So guys, you guys ready?
Yep, let's go. Hey people in the chat. Hi y'all.
Hey, my username isn't real. To start, we want to a little bit kind of, not go over what we said last time, but, just give it a little bit of a preview of what happened for the last podcast. So if you want to summarize, Ariana.
Okay, so in the last podcast, we basically spoke about Black Lives Matter and how we as Black and felt about this situation. Keep in mind, this was a week ago, so some of what we have said may have changed, or there's new information that we have gathered for today's stream. So talking about that new information and sharing stories that wasn't shared.
So yeah, some of the things we talked about was just, we touched on all lives matter. We touched on the whole situation with George Floyd and how we are supportive of this whole movement. We also went into detail of how we felt about every aspect of the protests, both the protests, looting, and rioting. So if you guys want to check that out, you can check the last stream. But yeah, I'm about to post a document on the stream chat. It should be a link to the resources we're going to be sharing. There's just a few of them, but just start off the stream. So Daniela, how are you doing?
Sorry?
How are you doing? You feel ready?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm pulling up the document, but I was gonna ask if we should also put the links in the chat.
Yeah, we have
Or
a few other links we should give out. I think if Sierra joins us, she can just copy and paste from the document herself.
yeah, that would work.
Sierra, only copy and paste the ones that are on top. We have a document that has a link next to a bullet point that we're going to speak on in a moment, but that one we should save until we start talking about that part. So yeah, Ari?
All right.
First, we should probably... Wow, we did not organize these bullet points at all. That's great.
No.
We should probably just start with the thing that happened literally the day after.
Oh God.
The thing I highlighted it.
Was it the
the race war / game? Yes, let's talk about that. And I actually watched a video on that today. So, but since you guys currently live in the city, I feel like it would be best for you guys to talk about it first, considering you guys are there and we don't really have that.
Well, Daniela,
where I'm staying.
See,
Daniela?
I told you all. I told you all. I was trying to say it during the last podcast, but about how we shouldn't really be relying on gangs to protect our neighborhoods and have them working with the police or whatever, because it didn't align with my morals, and also they're not the race war. The gangs are not. They're gonna hurt Black people. Like, that's what I was afraid of. Specifically, like Latino gangs and stuff.
Yeah, so
anti-Black.
So if you didn't know, or if you just aren't as close to the situation as we are, since we literally live there, what happened was that a bunch of the Mexican gangs throughout Chicago were actually attacking Black people because of all the looting that was going on. A few places, like in Little Village, actually got hit really hard with it, but then the gangs started, I guess, defending their territory. And yeah, Daniela actually really did call it. She said that this was gonna end bad, and it did.
Yeah, she did say that.
For a split second, people were kind of glad. They were like, yeah, like the gangs came through, like this is your job now. And then after that, it was like, oh no. It was not good.
Yeah, the whole situation was horrible. The only thing I really have to add before I give it off to Ariana is that I noticed that a lot of the people that live around here, because I went to Market school, and I went to Hubbard, so I've basically been living around 63rd my entire life. And I was at least proud that some of the people that were here and that spoke out online, because a lot of us do have friends or know people that are in gangs. So it was nice to see that my friends from school were willing to be vocal about condemning the gangs and stuff like that. So yeah, Ari, if you want to speak on it, on the video you were just seeing.
Okay, so in this video, I was watching someone give their opinion on it, and honestly, the video was more so about how the media was, once again, I said this last stream, media twist the situation and make it ugly in a sense. But it was basically just talking about how the media took clips of this one man who lives in Little Village speaking about, like, I know who lives around here, like, if any of you guys, like, basically saying if any of you guys come over here and our territory, it won't end. But there was another video that kind of debunked all of what the media tried to make this man seem like he was preaching, but that was like not the case. He was saying he's not trying to make it a race war. It's black and brown people that live in Village, though it is a predominantly Latino community. And their whole thing is getting everybody together to make amends and just help stop police brutality and what the overall focus of the matter is. So that was the video that I watched on it. And I'll continue.
No, I was just gonna say that I did notice. At least I personally saw a few live streams that were recording the situation or like the confrontations, and that were recording our confrontations, or not ours, but like the confrontations between the gangs and the movement, and they were violent, but for the most part, people really did at least attempt to start with talking about it, which obviously that didn't work out, at least not in all situations. But the good thing is that after the first day or the second day, it really caught up to like the people, and they started to like slow down. And then after a few days, especially like 2-3 days ago, there were people already talking and protesting together, like literally down Kedzie. So if you live where I live, or if you live, or let me just explain the situation, but 63rd and Kedzie is probably one of the most divisive lines between races, between the Hispanic and the black race, just because like if you go down Kedzie, you turn to the right, you see like a taco place. You turn to the left, you see like a bunch of little black kids playing around or whatever. Like you see the division, right? But there was this huge protest of Black Lives Matter down the Kedzie street, and it was, I guess, beautiful. And like and while I think we can all condemn what happened with what's it called, the race war, I'm at least happy that after the fact, people realize, it's not really a race war. It's more about, it was really the gangs taking it up by themselves. It wasn't really like the Mexican people speaking through the gangs, really.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I guess there's a lot more we could talk about. Just because the whole situation was very, I guess, how can you say, divisive?
Yeah.
But like, it's not like it caused an argument between people in SoonExistent. It's not like it caused an argument between people that are actually friends. It was never really, now that you're black, I hate you or whatever.
Oh no, not like that.
It was just the gangs that were being the only real vocal voice, and then at least out of that got a few more Latino people more vocal about the situation, which I'm glad about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Wow. Okay, so shall we move to the topic?
Yeah, we can. You can speak on the. If you're on the document, I can highlight it. Hold on. That one.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to be sharing a story that was shared to me by my friend from college, or my pre-college. He has been very active within the Black Lives Matter just movement, especially considering where there are black people. So I thought it was a big deal that he was trying to take a stand on the situation, though it's not many people that even live in his town that are black. And just he lives in northern Michigan. So northern Michigan, our what we perceive to be the South, quote unquote, as minorities. That's what North Michigan is. So, all right. So here's the story. So my friend Ramsey, he, like I said, is white, and his town was supposed to be having a protest, a peaceful protest for the Black Lives Matter movement, but they canceled it because people were, air quotes, scared, right? People were scared. I mean, I could see why. I mean, people are protesting for Black rights, and it's not many Black people that live in that town, you know? So if you connect the dots, you know, that's why people would be scared. He, however, seeked his sheriff of his town. Ramsey's pretty well known. It's a small town. Of course, you're going to be well known within that. But he seeked out the sheriff of the town and asked, "Hey, like, why aren't we having the Black Lives Matter protest? Like, you know, you guys were gonna have it a few days ago and it got canceled, and like I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. What can we do to, you know, basically have the protest?" And the sheriff was like, "You guys can have it on this day or whatever." So he got the green light for it, and some people who are really blind, racist, let's just say it out, racist, just about the whole situation, came to him and threatened his family's life, and basically said that if any of our stuff gets looted from this protest that you guys are having, we will lynch your whole family in front of you. And he's just trying to do the right thing, though it isn't any Black people, once again, that lives in that area. You know, he was threatened when he was trying to create an equal environment in the town. And it scared him. It did. But he overcame the fear, and he texted me a few days ago in excitement saying that it was a successful protest and everything. There was no looting or anything like that. Everybody came, did what they needed to do, and that was that. And he said it was about 1,000 or so people that came to the protest. So that's honestly really, I don't know how to explain it. It shows me as a Black person who has a lot of white friends, or who had a lot of white friends at her previous university, that they really are on my side, you know? Though I was the only person in that group to say that they were oppressed and they did have privileges, they're using their privileges to take action on a situation that has been going on for 400 years. So that was his story. And yeah, so if you guys would like to add your 2 cents.
I just feel like a lot of.
Sorry.
Go
No, I had questions. You can go, and I'll ask them.
Okay.
No,
Let's
go ahead.
answer
Go ahead.
Let's answer the questions first.
Yeah, go
What's
ahead.
the question?
When you say it was successful and that like it went smoothly, well, your friend is saying, did he mention like how involved the police were in? Like you said, he went to the sheriff.
Yeah, he went to the sheriff.
Like I'm wondering how involved they were with the protest. Like they weren't using. It doesn't sound like they were using force against the protesters.
Yeah, I don't think so. But once again, like I said, it's a mostly white town. Now you see a lot of these police acts of like violence at these protests happening in larger cities or areas that have a large population of POCs. So I honestly don't think, and it's a small town, so I think everybody knows everybody. So that could also be a reason why there wasn't as many police officers, which we aren't as grateful enough to have that. Or if you live in Chicago, you're, because it's a lot of people out here. Granted, I've lived out here for 4 years, but I don't know a lot of people that live in this neighborhood unless I went to high school with them. But it's a lot of people that know the police officers in this area. And honestly, me and Vincent, my friend Vincent, we were going to a protest, or we were trying to go to a protest last week. And we were not late, but they started. And by the time we got to the park, they were across our our suburb. Like they were across the like little suburb of Homewood, and they were all the way by this place that it would have taken us a minute to walk over there, and we wouldn't have caught time. So I drove past it trying to catch up with them, and I saw that I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, I saw that the police were not, trying to start anything with the people who were protesting, and they were actually escorting the protest, and you don't see that in Chicago.
You don't.
You see the opposite of that. So I was
nasty here.
Yeah, so I was like, that this is not strange, and it was a lot of white people protest too. I think it was half and half, like your people of color and your white, the
personnel.
Caucasians.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I think it was just kind of the location, just how it is and how good each other.
And sometimes you think that those protests that don't have that don't seem to be, I don't want to say major, but don't have drama around them, don't do as much. But then you gotta think that these are like the white communities or the wider areas, and like those are the places where those protests would mean something, because it would get the people that are not can be considered like conservatives or shallow, or not shallow but sheltered racist, to realize that the people around them it inadvertently tells them to recheck their morals, I guess, and without calling them racist or anything, because again, like if you call a racist, that's not really changing anything. That's just kind of, you're just making them go on the defensive. It's not really changing anything. But that those protests would, so that's really good. Oh, and Daniela posted, I just want to say this real quick, we're going to be posting a Facebook link constantly. Daniela, you want to explain it?
Is that the link that leads to Ariana's profile?
Yes. So it leads to the post where Ariana put that sends the money straight to the Chicago Community Bond Fund. So if you, because obviously we're going to donate at the end of this stream, and we're going to donate our follower count. I mean, to be clear, we've already donated. This kind of follower thing is just to make sure that the people that can't donate have some way of contributing. But yeah, if you go to the Facebook link, you can just go directly, and if you have money yourself, you don't even have to follow. You just have to go over there and donate yourself. So yeah. But yeah, on the protest, it was the protest. Your friend Ramsey.
Yes.
Yeah, that. You said that they don't really teach Black history.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, they don't really teach Black history, and that was another thing.
Would you
On the
want to?
call.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, what did you say?
No, please go ahead. I wanted you to elaborate on it.
Oh, okay. So that was another thing that we talked about on our 3-hour phone discussion. He did a lot of research about what it is that's right now. But he was asking me questions that one may think if you live in like a bigger city or area that has, or like a southern town that has a lot of Black people, you learn that. You learn this stuff in like history class, or if you're Black, you just would learn this throughout the years of being Black. But that's not the case for him, because once again, the town that he comes is predominantly white and in northern Michigan. So they don't teach Black history up there. Which, once I started explaining things to him about certain situations that are going on in our communities and all of that, I was like, all of this dates back to history, and I was connecting certain points to historic events, and he was like, I didn't even know any of that happened. And I was like, yeah, this is like, this is why this happened, because this dates back to like just whatever point in slave history. So that's also another thing. I feel like if people were taught Black history and taught why it is that Black people feel oppressed and still feel oppressed and are constantly fighting, that's, I feel like, not to say we wouldn't, be a perfect country, but I feel like a lot of the ignorance would be solved if they taught it everywhere.
Like it's a step forward.
Yeah.
That's done on purpose, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is done on purpose. It is done on purpose. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, if you're in a town that's 98% white and you go to an all-white, why would they teach Black history to you? You're not Black. It was different at the schools that I went to until I moved out to the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that I was surrounded by in my class looked like me for the most part. At Marquette, and I'm not even gonna lie, like at Marquette, I don't think I went to Lionel Hampton, but it was more Black people than it was Latino. Mm-hmm. But Marquette was the first school that I went to where it was half Latino and half Black, which is crazy because the demographics of where I used to live, which is where it's on 75th and Holman. If you live on the south side and know where Sarah E. Good is, that's where I used to live. It's still like half Black kind of and half Latino, but I didn't have Latino friends until I went to Marquette. So, and I didn't have white friends until I moved out into the suburbs. So, yeah, I feel like it's done on purpose, but yeah, it depends on where you live. But I feel like it's still stuff like that should be taught in history classes everywhere if it's American history. How are you going to call a class U.S. history at an all-white school and not teach all of U.S. history?
Because Black history is such a big part of it.
Exactly. And as a lot of people on Twitter say, we built this country. And we did. We did build this country. Yet we're seen as scum. And people don't know why we're seen that way. But they're taught to treat us as if we're that way. you know, and they don't even know the history behind it.
Like, if you, like, me and Daniela, we went to the Marquette for most of our lives.
Yeah.
And, like, do you remember ever being taught Black history before the turnaround in 6th grade?
No, I actually find that weird. We were kind of sheltered in a way before that happened.
Like,
I don't know.
like, they tried, like, you have to think about it. They tried to shelter us from Black history in a half-Black school.
Yeah.
And if they did that there, and it kind of almost worked until we had a whole reform where our school got, like, a full overhaul of their lesson plan.
Yeah.
It wasn't until then that we actually got taught.
With a lot of black people employed and over, like, just administration wise over that, that's when you started to see Black history. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Ferriante taught us about a lot of Black civil rights activists. But I feel like it wasn't connected really to the present. Like, that's where I kind of felt sheltered. They didn't really connect that for us. So I went to high school not knowing what, like, Black Lives Matters was, or...
Yeah, like, I agree with Black Lives Matter. I just didn't, like, know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, I was taught about Malcolm X and Martin Luther and, you know, Frederick Douglass and W.E.B. Du Bois, but I never was taught about how that affects to this day. Like,
yeah.
And you got to think about it. Like I mentioned in the start of the stream, that was like slavery ended 140 years ago. That's like someone's grandma that's living right now, someone's mom that was living right now. That they couldn't have experienced that, and that's just up to slavery. That doesn't include Jim Crow. Jim Crow, what, 65 years ago? What, 45 years ago? What? 65 probably. But
yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, but also not that long, right? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's not that long.
Like,
I mean, I wouldn't even give it XYZ amount of years ago. It's still going on. It's still going on.
That's true. It's just
like it hasn't been an end date to it. Like,
it really hasn't. It's just some laws have been added to make it less, like, predominant, I guess is the word to say. But yeah, it's so insane. And something Ghost of Nay, I want to say, mentioned in the chat that's she goes to a predominantly black school in a predominantly black city, and Black history was always a common topic. So like they understand, but then they went to PWI, and then they saw how Black history isn't taught. Like, yeah,
it's not. It's not a lot of classes or a lot of African studies classes either. And that's why I'm excited for my new school, because I'm gonna be in 2 African American studies classes to better understand my race, like just better understand that. Because honestly, in high school, I didn't really think we were taught much of it at HF either. Like, there was a class for it.
Yeah.
But like it was kind of like brushed over a little bit. Like, they didn't really go into detail about that. Like,
and I know what you mean. Like, again, we went to Marquette and they started teaching us a few stuff, but like it wasn't like in detail. It wasn't until high school where my black English teacher, freshman year, the most amazing teacher I've ever had in that kind of topic ever, she basically gave us a whole month, Black History Month, every day, 9 sheets of paper on different events, on different people, on different things, every single day, like 9, 10. You literally walk into the room and there'd be like a whole first row covered in like paper you'd have to pick up to do in homework, and like that was a lot of work, right? But you got to think about it, like
Yeah.
It's helping you
it's helping
understand the
you.
people around you in your neighborhood.
And also, why couldn't that like history be integrated rather than have to, you know what I mean? Like when you're taught American Revolution, you're not taught about the black people in it. You're just taught Mexican Revolution, and then during Black History Month, at least for us, you're taught about black people in that.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it's
you
so
had to
wild.
learn in a month the entirety of Black history that we should have really learned since elementary school, because that's when they start teaching you about Columbus.
And they start
That's
teaching
one
about
of the very first things you learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
and Paul Revere. Like, who the fuck cares about Paul Revere at this point?
Yeah.
I'm
I
not even
can't
gonna
tell you nothing on that man. Tell you right now.
The redcoats are coming.
I'm an artist. Let me remind y'all. I'm
not
an
a
artist.
history major.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and also
I do a lot of stuff on the people, on us. But continue. Go ahead.
that is a thing. If like this isn't a plug or anything, if you guys want to check her Instagram, she has a lot of like art on black and people of color, and it is great.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, it's great.
Thank you.
Sierra, is she modding or not?
No, she's on here.
Oh,
we'll
she is?
get to it. If not, it should be in the description, but it's okay. Anyway.
Also, record 123 mentioned that Indigenous history should also be mandatory in schools. Yes. And I 100% agree. Like
oh God,
you can't be taught American history and not talk about the people that actually were here. You know what I mean? Like it's
infuriating.
It's like American history is America, and America isn't just the country of the United States. It's like the landmass, the entire history of the landmass.
Right.
The people that, influence this area. That's what it should be.
There she go. There goes Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost of Nay again. Speaking the truth again. Like they're saying that Black history, like you get taught about Malcolm X, Martin Luther, like 7 times in a row because that's the only people that they really focus on. But there's so much more. There is so much depth to everything. Like Brown versus the Board of Ed, like that's talked about, but not as much. Little Rock 9, it's talked about, but again, it's just like one of those like Malcolm X stories or like Martin Luther King stories. It's like at this point, you gotta speak on something else because that's not all it was.
Right.
But yeah, how actually I wanted to ask Daniela, how was like my people of color history taught at selective enrollment since you went to one?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I left Marquette not really connected to the present, like what was going on with like Black lives. And I went into Whitney, and they didn't really teach any of that like right away. You had to take like separate courses. You had to take like African.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Whitney is a suburban school placed in the middle of Chicago. That is what it is.
Very diverse, though. They promote that a lot. It's very diverse.
You bet they're gonna put. Yeah, go ahead.
The only reason I know what I know now is because of the friends and the people that I was surrounded by. My Black friends and like black acquaintances. Like, can I tell a short story?
Go ahead.
So I was walking one day, freshman year, I'm 14, 15. I was walking with my friend after school, and
Mm-hmm.
she brought up the Black Lives Matter movement, and
Mm-hmm.
me not knowing what that was, I was like, "Oh, Mexican lives matter."
Oh
She looked at
no.
she looked at me and she was like, "No," and I was like, "No," and she's like, "No, this is like." She tried to explain it to me, but I can't believe that I said that. Like now, I was just
Yeah.
ignorant. I didn't know. But she
Yeah.
was like, "No, like this is specifically for like Black lives, like like what you
Like
would say
it's
to people right now."
Yeah.
The talk that we're giving people right now, that's the talk that she had to give to me. And I'm embarrassed, but that happened.
like it's
Hey, it
It
like
was
happened.
it was
like
people like her that I kind of just had to slowly gather, I guess, information from
Mm-hmm.
to know, like, oh wow, I had no idea.
like
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, Mexican Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, all that thing. Like it's not a
Mm-hmm.
soccer
Yeah.
team. Like you don't
Right.
pick your team. Like it's just a movement you're supposed to support because of the people
Yeah.
that are being oppressed by it, or oppressed by something else rather.
Yeah. Oh God. Our school was a mess, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
not even gonna get into that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
before we move on to any other topic, record 1 2 3 record. I love that name, by the way. Um, said like it's funny. Said that they wanted us to discuss, the police, like Chicago Public, the police department, being a
Mm-hmm.
part, like integrated into CPS. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like talk about the fact that the police are the ones that are considered to be the bodyguards at CPS schools, even though
Yeah.
like why or like I know our school specifically had a very interesting story with this with CPD, but I'll let you guys talk first because I that was a whole other thing.
Um. Once again, uh, the school that I went to, we were very, I think, aware of stuff that was.
Ari, can you start over again? You kind of you're breaking up
Oh,
a
was
little
I
bit.
not? Oh, I
Yeah.
We
am.
were cutting up.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. So once again, I moved to the suburbs when I was 14. So I think, um, I for the last 4 years have kind of just lost sight of what's going on in CPS schools. You really give an opinion. I know once you get to high school, the increase of security goes up. I'm going to say that. And I started high school in 7th grade. It's a long way to explain how that happened. But to make it short, but um, I do notice that like just security that is in a high school is way different than security that is in elementary.
Yeah, you're
But
cutting out a little bit. Hold on.
I still am. No.
Well,
Just towards the end.
yeah, most of
Oh,
what you're
okay.
saying is fine. Just give me
Okay.
if you want to
I just
reconnect to the
noticed a
card.
difference. No, I just noticed a difference between elementary.
Wow, she cut off harder when she started saying that. Okay. Just rejoin the call real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, she started cutting out even more when she said, "No, I'm fine. I'll just finish real quick." Now she started cutting off like crazy.
It'll be fine though.
Yeah.
Are we better now?
Yep.
Okay. Like I was saying, I just noticed a difference in elementary versus high school in terms of security. Did I cut off that time?
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're good.
Okay, amazing, exquisite. Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say, because Daniela and Gio, would know more than I would, or know recently with what's going on. But I don't want to lose sight of that topic, but I do have something I want to say about just stuff like that. So go ahead and say what y'all gotta say, and then I'm gonna
Go
just
ahead,
talk
Danielle.
about what I gotta say.
What was she responding to? I kind of.
It was the let me go back up here. Let me find it.
I kind of lost sight of what you were answering.
Oh, god darn it. Okay. I am hoping to hear you all discuss your feelings on having CPD in schools.
Oh.
If you want my opinion on it, I don't agree with it.
Me neither.
That's
There's a
my
couple
opinion.
of petitions going around. We're asking CPS kind of to cut off their contract with CPD.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know the CPD was in schools.
Yeah.
Once again, I haven't been there in a minute, so I don't even know.
I think right now you can be signing petitions, or there's a few places where you can get like a drafted letter where you can email it to different like districts or to people in your school. Like I know for Whitney Young, they had the emails out of the people on the council, the student council, I think, where you could send emails to them asking them that they withdraw from that contract. Or yeah.
I'll see if I can find the the petition right now for anybody that particularly feels passionate about it. I already signed a petition personally. The petition for the CPS and CPD. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, I found a grassroots one.
Sierra said the police at Good had an entire office, and it was at least 2 in there every single day. Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, you said same?
No, that's insane.
I was like...
To have a whole office.
Yeah.
But we did have a bunch of, like every morning, there was like CPD officers there.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that was, because once I went to a high school. Once again, let me say that I went to 2 high schools in Chicago, and when I went to Morgan Park, when I was 12, there wasn't any CPD, shockingly, because if anybody knows Morgan Park. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my lord.
I know of y'all.
If you don't know Morgan Park High School, you're not from Chicago, period. So when I was there was CPD. I didn't see any. Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing any CPD. When I went to Hansberry is a charter school, but CPS and charter schools in the city. Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay. Is my audio okay? Okay. So
Are we
I don't know if
good?
I've mentioned this. Whitney Young we had a police academy right next to our school, so you couldn't really avoid police or running into police.
Oh yeah.
It was
I feel like Whitney Young would be the least suspecting school. But I don't know, because y'all have had stuff. Let's not. Yeah, y'all have.
Let's not even get into it.
Let's not get into what they have done over there.
Nope.
But No, but finishing my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, so charter schools, I don't know if when I was at the charter school that I went to my freshman year, once again, we didn't have any CPD at school, so I do not know. But here's something that I do notice, and I had this conversation, progressive little Ariana in her sophomore year of high school. I had this with my neighbor slash good friend Vincent across the street, that in a lot of CPS, if not all CPS schools, they have metal detectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have metal detectors at my suburban public school of 3,000 kids, but they'll have one at the Chicago public school with 600 kids.
Yeah.
Why? What? Like, when I walked into HF when I was visiting, that was kind of one of the first thoughts I had. I was like, oh, we don't have to walk through metal detectors. And even back then, now we do have to wear our IDs, but we didn't have to wear our IDs.
Mm.
But what's shocking is they'll put a metal detector at a school with a large black population, but they won't put a metal detector in these suburban schools, which have been more known for having, like, in school shootings. So
That's no accident.
like, what I'm not seeing, I'm confused. I'm really confused as to, like, what is going on. So, because, yeah, when I was at Morgan Park, once again, we had to go through a metal detector. Yeah, it was just nothing about that. We had to go through a metal detector to get into the school. And when I moved, I was just confused. I really was. And then I realized, I was like, they don't suspect these suburban kids to come in here with guns. But they'd be surprised with all of the stuff that the kids was doing in my high school. And I'm not a snitch. So I'm not gonna
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna rat on some people, but they were coming in there with stuff that at a CPS school would have, people would have caught that within the metal detectors. But my high school didn't know that people was coming into the school with this stuff. You want to know why? Because they didn't have metal detectors. They were expecting these white personnels to, do what they need to do to graduate and get up out this school, which I don't feel like that's right at all. And the demographics is actually changing at my high school. Just another tangent. There's something that we call the white flight, which
What?
is when all the black people, black people move to a certain area, that's when the white people tend to leave. So that's how it was when I was younger, and in my previous neighborhood that I lived in the city. Apparently, it was a lot of white people that lived there until all of the black people and the Latinos came and they moved to the suburbs. Now we're coming to the suburbs. We're getting our weight up, getting our money up, and we're moving to the suburbs. And now they're moving again. So my high school used to be predominantly white. Now the demographics is like 60% black.
What?
And yes.
Wow.
Damn.
Within the last like 5 years. 5 years.
That's insane.
The demographics is 60% black, 20% white, and it's constantly decreasing. I honestly feel like once it gets to my little brother's class,
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids at he's going to middle school, but at his current elementary school are black. I've not seen a white kid at that school.
Wow.
So I feel like once he gets to high school, they're all going to be gone. And yeah, it's sad, but like that's what's happening. So I bet you eventually there's going to be metal detectors. I bet you there's going to be metal detectors in these schools. And
Yeah, probably.
I'm just waiting for the day. I'm ready to say I told y'all. But hopefully everything is changed by then. So debunk me. That's what I want to happen within the next few years. For everyone to debunk my predictions. But at this rate, that's all I can do is give predictions based off of past events.
Yeah.
So all I have to say,
Now go ahead.
All I have to say about the CPD, or is that the acronym? I'm not sure. Chicago Police Department. Yeah, it is. All I have to say about it is that the act of them being together is very interesting and worrying, I'd say. That's not to say that a school should be without protection. That's obviously not right.
No.
But that should be outsourced, I believe. It should be outsourced to different security companies for it. Because obviously, it's not like the police are literally everywhere that needs security either.
No.
And you can say, the police being there is good for the children because then not only they get protected, you don't have to wait for the police to get there; they're already there. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that in our school, at least our school specifically, there was an instance where an officer got really close to got close to the school, but then his political views were very, different. And, this isn't to knock on anyone's political views or anything, but the issue was that, all these kids that knew him, that adored him, now eventually saw him holding up I can't remember what the sign said exactly. I can look it up, but I'd rather not see that visual again. But it was a visual of him holding up a American flag in police costume while also, saying supporting Donald Trump or whatever. And again, my high school's 90 something percent Hispanic. You can think how conflicting that would be for a child, which again, conflicting views aren't a bad thing per se, because at least they get the people to start talking about it. But the thing is, this is a man of authority that shouldn't show his political stance because of how
there's a power imbalance there.
Yeah, it is. It's very hurting. And I'll be right back. I'm being called. Can you guys please?
Yeah. All right. So, shall we move on to the next topic? I say we shall.
Or should we wait before?
Well, we can't wait because it's going to cause a pause, and we don't want that.
You're right.
So, let's talk about if hashtag Black Lives Matter fails, no other minority group has had or will have a chance.
Oh God. Oh, is that the piece that?
That is a bullet. Yes. So we'll start giving our piece on that. I strongly believe that. because we all need to start somewhere. Us people of color need to start somewhere. If
I'm
Black
back.
Lives Matter, we're talking about if Black Lives Matter fail.
Oh, we're getting in that already. Okay, cool.
Yeah. 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 So
I thought
if
we should have
if
shouted out
that
black creators
fails,
first. Okay, go ahead.
we can get to that at the end.
Go ahead.
Oh no, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't.
What?
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, so if
What?
it fails,
What just happened?
it's fine. It's fine. I just
Go ahead.
had a thought. If it fails, I don't know. I feel like like I said, we need to start somewhere, and we've been fighting Black history for not Black history, but Black issues and just Black injustice for, everybody say with me at home, 400 years.
401.
400 years. 401.
That was when the slavery thing started, 1619, when the first slaves were brought to Jamestown, yeah.
For that long, we need to, like, we've already been fighting. We just need to end this so we can move on to the next thing. So America can truly be great. And and not great in the sense that someone
great for everyone, not great for white people.
Right. Mr. Twitter Fingers believe is great for where everybody is equal and have justice for all, as the flag wants us to believe we have, and we don't. So
Danielle, if you want to give your piece, I'll go last.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the whole concept, of course, it's a terrible thought. What if this movement that is currently happening doesn't work?
Yeah, I think it will be, or I think it will.
I believe that it will work. It has to work now that we have more people ever. I don't think we've ever seen the amount of support be this large.
Yeah, let me just say this. This is the biggest civil rights movement in history. I just want everybody to know.
It will
if you
be.
Don't know. It will be. I thought it was at the moment because we're living in it.
No, it is. It is.
Okay, good.
50
it's gonna stay that way.
I think it was 50 states, 18 countries, something like that.
Yes, it was 50 states, 18 countries. That is what it. So, yeah. I don't think we're. And plus, if you guys also didn't know, the street that the White House sits on is now 1600 Black Lives Matter Avenue or something like that. It's something Black Lives Matter. They changed the name of the street. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting through people. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. I'm just gonna
we have to believe that it's gonna work. How do you go from there?
Right. Like the place where our president, quote unquote, he's not mine, but where the president resides right now. Yeah. Black Lives Matter Avenue. Period. Trevor said hi.
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 Anyway. So
I'm just posting a few links for you guys.
Okay.
So I just, for which one was it? If Black Lives Matter fail? Okay, yeah. All I want to say about this is you gotta think about it, right? Like, to any minority that wants to make a change for their own minority, a minority group, I guess, you have to think Black Lives Matter has so much support. It has so much support in this country, in other countries, so much support for so long. You can say that the support people have been fighting for ages, right? So you got to think, if for some reason, this movement doesn't make a longing impact, doesn't actually change the country's system in itself, like the very gears that turn it, after it already got this much support.
Right.
No other minority group has that. No other minority group has this huge following. No other minority group really has anything that can match, let alone go past Black Lives Matter, at least up until now, right?
Yeah.
So to every minority that may be on the fritz or not really understand if whether or not they want to support this movement because of, because of the looting, because of, other controversial subjects on the matter. You have to think, if this movement doesn't make any impact, or it doesn't make a substantial amount of impact, then no other minority group has a chance. No other minority group will be able to make a dent at America.
Yeah.
Because this movement couldn't. So
we need to get the ball rolling, guys.
Again, me and Danielle are Latinos. We've seen we're probably a little bit more well educated on the issues that Latinos have, and the fact that right now there's a huge issue going on. And we're doing our own research, we're doing our own stuff on the side, but Black Lives Matter is still what we're supporting, because we know that once Black Lives, that's a first step. And it's the biggest first step anyone can make to actually make, again, and it's not just brown people, it's not just Latinos and Black people, because those are the people that are getting poster boarded a little bit more. It's the native I don't know if it's Native American, Native Indians, but their race. It's also Asian people, it's also the Muslim religion. It's all these other people that wouldn't get a movement going, or couldn't get a movement going as large as Black Lives Matter. The queer community, the LGBT community, all communities, all these minority groups wouldn't be able to muster up a movement as big as Black Lives Matter, just because of the nature of how long and how many people have been oppressed. So you got to think, we got to get this movement going, and then expand.
Yes.
It's not about trying to target different areas. It's not about talking about one movement a day and then talk about the next movement the next day. You have to keep going with the same movement until that movement finally makes enough impact that other minorities get stepped up as well, and then they can push forward as well. So that's all I had to say. I've seen a lot of people talk about, what about my race? What about my race? What about my race? And it's it's not that your race isn't suffering. It's a lot of
people saying, well, why don't all lives matter? And
you know what I've seen? On Facebook, at least, I've seen, it's weird. Latino people, Mexican people say, well, if all lives matter, what about the kids in cages? What about ICE? And it
the gassings,
yes, it's still trying to take attention away from the Black Lives Matter,
right?
And again, it's not like you have to give all your attention to Black Lives Matter. It's just you shouldn't take away attention from Black Lives Matter.
No, and what they're forgetting is that there were protests for ICE when ICE was putting kids in cages, and you know who was there? Black people were there. We've already had protests for that. Why are you trying to take attention away from what's happening right now when you weren't even paying attention to when Black people were fighting for us? And you gotta educate yourself. You can't be out here.
I saw a lot of LGBTQ people speak on Black lives like it's taking away from Pride, but then you have to remember, Pride started because of a protest with Black people, Black LGBTQ members.
Riots.
Yeah,
riots.
I was just about to say it's taken away from Pride. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No. Sorry, no.
I don't think any LGBTQ member that really, understands where their rights came from.
Yeah, and it's a documentary on if you don't know if you are gay, lesbian, if you're a part of the LGBT community, and you just you like the other gender, or you identify as another gender, please do your history to do your just research please, because it wouldn't be fair if the situation was completely turned and you were to be like, well, or if we were to be like, oh, well, this is taking away from our Black Lives Matter movement, like you guys protesting for just someone being homophobic. That would be wrong. So just don't do that. Don't do that.
They do know that when people say Black Lives Matter,
that means black queer lives.
Yes.
That means like it's not just like Black Lives Matter is a huge umbrella for many areas within the Black community.
Yeah.
So like
you don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah, and you know what? It boggles my mind when I have a lot of friends who are part of the LGBT community, and one of my friends, he always is talking about how there are racist people within the community too, and it's kind of just like, well, if they knew their history on it, would they still feel that way? Like, do they realize that Black people is kind of one of the reasons, not even one of the reasons, because Obama was the one who legalized the marriage,
same-sex marriage,
right? So like, why? I'm just trying to confuse. I'm trying to confuse. I am confused.
I'm trying to confuse.
I'm not trying to confuse y'all, but I'm just confused as to why how are you gay and racist? How are you trans and racist? I'm not.
When your rights came from,
when, once again, they came from, or what? Not to say that it was just Black people that did it, because it wasn't.
No, but like, you also have to think that Black people are large majority of the people that move forward the LGBTQ movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
and
why
you guys would actually be surprised. I know, and I don't say anything, but people give me vibes who are gay, and they really do care about Pride Month more than Black Lives Matter. And I don't say anything, but you should not give me that vibe. Me, as your Black friend, do not give me that vibe. Because we're both, especially it's POCs too that is like that. Just don't.
And again, a lot of people would, should embrace Black Lives Matter even more, because, once more issues are being solved, it's not like Black Lives Matter won't start taking in issues from other minorities. I already saw Black people's start up the protests against children in cages again because of the gassings that started essentially chemical torture that started going on.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you want this movement to succeed. You should.
Yeah. You should. And if you are a part of the LGBT community, which I'm sure you guys get the big picture, but for the people who don't, I hope you guys understand you're considered to be a minority too. In terms of your sexuality, you're a minority. So you should want this. You should want this as much as we want this too, because a lot of people in the LGBT community face discrimination based on their sexuality and what they identify as. This is a step to hopefully stop that too. So just
yeah,
don't do that. Period.
oh my
Period.
God.
XOXO. Black Lives Matter.
Please stop.
Oh God.
Oh God.
So I wanted to speak on an issue, or not an issue, but on a topic that one of my friends brought up to me that I didn't even think about. And maybe that's because I'm lucky enough that my parents aren't really, they don't condemn anything that's going on right now, even though we live so close to the issue. But point is, we wanted to speak on conversations with conservative parents. We wanted to talk on, maybe we don't know your exact situation. We don't know the exact points your parents feel like or political views they have, but we wanted to speak on, maybe how to get that conversation started. Maybe how to, if you live in a more rural area, or if you live with parents that, maybe aren't Black people and don't really see the Black Lives Matter movement as something affecting them. Because, they just don't know. And it's not really, it's sometimes you're just not exposed to that, right? So we wanted to speak on, how you can get that conversation started. And I did read the article that she sent me. It was a great article. I honestly do believe it was one of the things that matters the most. But
could you give a summary?
Yeah. I'll give you the big point that I took away from it, and that point was that just got a thing going on. Okay, sorry about that. But the point is, you don't call a racist person racist, right? That's something you should never do. Because when you call a racist person racist, regardless of whether it's true, regardless of what you know about their views or anything, you should never speak on them as an enemy. Because once you talk to them as if they are an enemy, they'll talk back to you and treat you like you are an enemy. So regardless of their position, because you don't know how likely people are to change their views, right? I know that in the past, my views were completely different from what they were now. I don't know if I can give an example off the top of my head, just because I can't think of anything, but I probably don't think the same way I did back then.
Yeah.
And that's not because someone randomly came up to me and called me a racist or called me a whatever they would have called me. I don't remember what my views were. But you have to start a conversation in a understanding tone, in a compassionate empathy. You have to show that you see their viewpoint. Even though if you don't agree on it, you see it. So whenever I remember my aunt, she would start speaking on the movement, the riots and stuff, because again, we live like 2 blocks away, and she'd speak on it negatively, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're an adult and you weren't around or you didn't experience the civil rights movement directly, this is completely new to you, right? And then you're just you see it as a bad thing because of the things that are going on around you. It's like you and I didn't know how to start that conversation with her. I didn't know how I could say something that wouldn't be disrespectful, that wouldn't be like that.
I think, once again, just going back to my time at Western, I think I was notorious for doing that. And I tell people that that's what I do sometimes, and people are like, what? No, they're racist. And I'm just like, well, no, you can't approach them like you're racist, because I bet you 9 times out of 10 they don't know. They don't know the history. They just don't know what they're saying. Like, they don't understand. You have to understand it, and not understand, but you have to explain it to someone in a tone that makes it seem like you're not attacking them. And I'm so big on doing that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a lot of people who said some strange stuff to me about just the Black community, and not even the Black community, but just different. They have different views than on stuff, and I'm always the one explaining why that's not right. But you can't say, well, that's not right. You have to come to them basically saying, I see what you're saying, but, and then give your statement.
You have
like,
you can't make them feel
like they're being attacked.
Guilting people doesn't work. It doesn't. At the end of the day, if you try and guilt trip someone on something, they'll just get defensive.
Right.
They'll just try and justify their actions. And trust me, look at literally any tragic historic event. People can try and justify anything. I mean, Mao in China justified what was it called? The flower campaign, the 1,000 flower campaign, I think it was, where he said that he was going to stop being a dictator, and then once people supported the movement, he killed the people that supported the movement, because then they showed themselves. Or like the Holocaust, Hitler justified killing an entire race or entire religion, I believe, I suppose rather. So when you try and put someone on a defensive, they'll be able to justify anything, just because. Not because it's a legitimate justification, but because if once you're pushed back to a corner, your survival instincts kicked in, and you do your best to like form an argument, and you will. So that's why when you speak on race matters and on racist, and you speak to your parents or family members, you have to start with maybe a movie, maybe a documentary. You have to start off with things you can do as a family, things you can do together, and then try and start conversations from that, so that it flows naturally without having to speak on something they did, because like you have to speak to, because again, your parents vote, or at least most parents vote. So like, if you allow them to have these uncontested, more racist opinions, that they'll just be voting for other people that have those same opinions. You want to change that.
Right. I'm gonna read this comment. It says, I go to Western. Oh, period. What's up, girl? I'm not gonna say go Broncos no more. But what's up? I see you. I see you. I see you. And there's a lot of weird vibes from people. So I definitely get that. Half the time, if I tell someone that I am from Detroit, they ask what gang I rep or if my house ever got shot up or if I ever been to jail. It's so stupid. That sounds like me on my first night of college, but it was from the Black community. It
It
was
was from
not.
Black people?
It was from Black people who didn't even go to Western.
Oh my
Because,
god.
Western, it's just a lot of randoms that like to come on campus. And it's
What?
fine. Yeah.
That's a
So
thing?
I was
Okay.
going to a party. We're not going to get into that story, but
Oh,
they
let's not.
said, what do you rep, BD or G? And I was like, I rep me.
Oh.
So,
Why is that such a you answer? What?
I know what, like,
Oh
I
my
know what
God.
that is, but like, I rep myself, period. Like, I'm not, no, you're not going to get me caught up in that. Anyway.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's literally
That just seems like it comes from a place of ignorance. Like,
It
where
does.
else do you get this from?
It does. And they're like, oh, yeah, my cousin is from Chicago. Okay.
cool.
What they rep?
Oh my god.
The thing is
I
that
wanna
people have this weird idea that if you're from Chicago, you're involved in criminal activity or whatever. But the
Oh
thing
my
is,
God.
you're not
Literally-
involved in. If you're in Chicago, you're not necessarily involved in, right? But you're
just
probably
surrounded by it.
yeah, you're surrounded. You're probably around it. So you definitely
Yeah.
like you have to be tough to be in Chicago, but being tough doesn't mean you have to be in a gang, or being tough doesn't mean
Right.
you have to like
Yeah.
get shot up.
And like literally everybody there was one girl who's from Lockport, Illinois, which is like 20-30 minutes away from me. And
South
there
or
was
north?
South.
Oh my
South.
god, that's even south from where we are. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like an hour. It's an hour from Chicago.
Yeah, it would be an hour from Chicago, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. But so it was one girl from Lockport, she's Black, and then it was one girl who was from Detroit, and it was another girl who was from a suburb around Detroit. So and then I don't tell people that I reside in Homewood because I'm from Chicago. So I said I'm from Chicago. And the same dude who said, what gang do I rep, asked me, oh, no, he didn't even ask me. He was like, oh, I'm scared of you. She from Chicago, she don't play. Now, if anybody knows me, I'm the least frightening person in the world.
Yeah.
I am not, verbally, I could be pretty frightening. But physically, absolutely not, sweetheart. So
I know that for a fact.
So
Also, you can
Go
keep
ahead.
going with your story in a second. I just wanted to shout something out. We had
no,
that
was it.
what?
That was it.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Go
okay.
Yeah.
All I was gonna say was that we had another donation for the Chicago Community Bond Fund at the Facebook thing. $10 more for the thing. 140 raised.
From who?
Let me
who?
check. Oh, I can't actually see who was the most recent person
Okay,
who done it.
I'll see it.
I think it was
Okay.
Kyle Semper.
Kyle, period. That's my bestie. One of my besties. One of them. He's watching. What's up, Kyle?
$10 more
Hi,
for the
Kyle.
$10 for the donation. $140 raised. That's awesome.
Hey,
Detroit
Thank
is the
you,
same
Kyle.
way. I gotta look for
we got this.
Detroit is the same way. I
Like-
get a look from people when I say that's where I'm from, as if I'm a gangsta or a hood.
Like honey,
B.
like a honey. I'm as soft as a teddy bear unless I need to look tough.
Yeah, see, people always gotta judge your character based off where you're from.
It's
I'm suburban. I have 4 years of suburban under me too.
again.
Don't mess.
I've never been gang affiliated. I've been jumped.
Ooh.
I've been in fights because I've had to, but I've never been gang affiliated. I've never held a gun in my hand, but I went from being one of the softest people at my high school in the South Side to being one of the quote unquote, like, I guess most
Hardest.
hood guys at
Hard.
IIT. Yeah, hardest. It was like, how the and that's their
Yeah.
view of me. It's like I've had people that are like taller than me at IIT walk up to me and say, "You probably beat my ass." Never mind. And I'm like, "What?"
Bro,
I know someone who, before I even went to West. So once you start college, you're friends. So you join these Facebook
Please
groups.
stop talking. Holy crap, your mic. Give me a second.
Me?
Yes.
oh,
Hold up.
your audio.
Your audio was horrible that moment.
At
Hold up.
least sound professional. You say that.
Damn.
Period.
Yeah, because saying period at the end of a sentence is professional. Oh, I just kicked her out without telling her to join. Wait, hold up. Okay, there she is back.
Okay. You didn't even tell me to.
Yeah, I
come
forgot.
back.
I forgot.
Oh my god. Anyway, so what was I? So once you're going to college, you try to join these Facebook groups and these Snapchat group chats. And one of the people who I was friends with at Western, one day she told me, she was like, I'm not gonna lie. Before I met you in the group chat, I thought that you would be me. And I was like, what? Now, I didn't even talk in there sometimes. If I did, I was sending playlists. But I was like, why would you think I would be me? And then in my head, it clicked. I was like, did she think I was going to be mean because I'm black and from Chicago? But not many people knew I was from Chicago. I said it, but it was really just because I was black. So when she said that, that's kind of the wheels started turning some more in my head, and I was like,
Come on now.
"Oh my god!"
Because you also gotta.
Once again, she is from Northern Michigan. This is not Ramsey. This is somebody else, but she's from Northern Michigan.
Because you also gotta think, like, I mean, I didn't really. I met like one white person in my high school, and I met like two in my elementary, or like one, I think it was. Holly, remember Holly?
Oh, Holly. Oh yeah, I forgot Holly.
Like one white girl in my high school, and then into a white privately owned institution or whatever it's called, PWI. So like sometimes you're just thinking, obviously racism exists, but you don't experience it on a daily basis, because at least not here by your friends, because your friends are your same race, right? Like I probably.
You were asking me if they were of the same race as me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Saying in general?
Yeah,
oh,
like
he's saying in general. I thought she was asking about my story. If the girl who said that was black, I was like, no. Far from it, baby. Far from it.
No, but like my point is, like, my friend group in high school was all Mexicans. Not all Mexicans. There was like a Salvadorian, but in my friend group in elementary school was black and white, or not black and Hispanic rather. God, white.
black
and white.
Oh god.
So I grew up where most of the racism that I perceived was either from like conservative black people or police, right?
Yes.
I had never really experienced like pure white, like not police, like pure white racism until later on. Or like not full on racism, like they exclude me, but obviously like you'd see the one or two racist people at your school or whatever that were publicly racist at least. And it was like,
I
oh,
didn't experience it until high school.
yeah.
So I feel you. It
And
hits different.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, God, okay.
Right. I was like, this made my stomach drop.
And this is me experiencing it for like a couple, like just a while. I can't imagine all the people that had to experience it on a daily basis. Horrible.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
What other topic do we have to talk about?
Well, it was celebrities. And
celebrities?
Just like how. Let me look at this. I think I put black creators. Oh, you said shout out black creators.
I didn't say that.
Should have added it.
I said that.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
It doesn't matter who said it. It was said.
It was said. Yes, it was said.
I'm
not streaming my browser, right? What am I streaming right now? Oh, okay. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Oh my god.
My boy Daniel. My boy Daniel in the chat. Don Sanchez.
Oh, yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm streaming a blank screen. What? Are you guys not seeing the slideshow?
I'm seeing the slideshow.
Okay. Okay, Sierra worried me for a second. I was like, oh my god.
All right. But we can talk about our celebrity faves. Oh, I wanted to talk about Kanye. Have you guys heard about Kanye?
No. Well, I've heard of him.
No, like recently. So, all right, let's talk about this. This one's gonna be fun. You guys are about to learn something new.
Actually, let me just shout out everything real quick. Everything we need to do real quick.
All right.
Before you get to your story, because we haven't really done that all this stream. So I'm about to post the Facebook link. The Facebook link goes directly to the donation page. If you guys, or the donation post, if you guys want to donate yourself. If you don't have the money to donate, you can go ahead and follow us, and we'll be donating our follower count in dollars to the thing. We've already all donated ourselves separately from the post. We just wanted to give people a chance to donate that, don't have the money. So this is a way you can support the movement. The document I am about to send now has a lot of information on Black Lives Matter, a huge compilation of basically a whole 27-page document, on different petitions, on different locations, on how it's affecting different people, articles, stuff like that. If you guys want to look through it, I posted that as well. And finally, I wanted to post this one document that one of my great, amazing mentors for college sent me, and basically is called the Justice in June. And depending on how much time you have to commit each day, you can do different things to either learn about, keep yourself educated, or, do petitions on it. So there you go. There's the resources. So you can go ahead and start your story now.
Oh, also your friend asked if we have participated in any protests yet. I was trying to. You missed that story. I was trying to, and it failed. But I am going to one on June 15th, if I remember correctly. I'm going to one by my house that is organized by some girls that I graduated from high school with. So, yeah.
I work basically every day a week now, but I'm still gonna go off and take Daniela to some protest somewhere and drag her along with me. I haven't figured out.
Do.
I will. Don't worry about it. I will drag. I just need to figure out when and where. Just because, again, I'm trying to pay for this college tuition, so I need this job.
Yeah. I just don't have anyone to go with, so I haven't gone.
Correction, June 19th. June 19th.
I have a document that has different protests on it. It's like a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. Send it to me.
Dates.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Oh, send that to me too, because...
Or just put it in the document, the SoonExistent document.
There was one in Little Village that my friend Corey was trying to get me to go, and I was working, and I was very sad about it. I was very sad, but...
It's hard.
I shed my tears.
Again, we are in a pandemic, so we have to hold on to the jobs we have, because God knows if we're gonna have them.
Right. I mean, I'm getting out of here. We're not gonna get into it. Tune into the next podcast to hear me complain about working at Sam's Club.
Oh, no.
No,
right.
guys. I'm kidding, guys. Appreciate your jobs, because a lot of people are unemployed right now.
Which
now
is
to
why.
My story.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. The most said phrase on this podcast. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The story is about Kanye. Okay. It's about Kanye. Okay, so let's fast forward until like 2 years ago or last year, where Mr. Kanye shook the world by saying slavery was a choice, and he is a Trump supporter. Y'all see how he fooled? Y'all see? Rewind, not fast forward. Rewind. Thank you, Sierra.
Fast forward to a year ago.
Fast forward to a year ago. English. Yes. Rewind. Anyway, rewind. But y'all see how he fooled you. This was all a big chess game.
That's what people were saying.
This was a big chess game. He said that he supports Trump for this reason. Okay. So he was trying to get this lady out of jail. So he was trying to, because Trump can pardon people. So he was trying to hold a meeting with Trump, and Trump was not taking the meeting. He was not taking the meeting, right? So he didn't take that meeting until he put on a Make America Great Again hat and put on this whole facade. And fooled the world. So he never really supported Trump, but in order to get Trump to listen to him, he had to make it seem like he was with Trump and his idea. And Trump took that as, yes, finally a black man who respects my great thoughts, So now, maybe a week ago or a few days ago, Kanye came to Chicago to protest, didn't want any of the cameras, didn't want to be seen. Like, he had on a mask and had all of that on, but he was not there for publicity or to gain any traction for him being there. He didn't want people to really record him or anything. He was there because he knew that's what he needed to do, and that's what he wanted to do for his people. So we've all been played. By Mr. Kanye. And yeah, so no, but I thought that was really smart. We knew Kanye was smart. We don't agree with his thoughts, but Kanye is a smart man. And yeah, we just all got bamboozled with that. So Sierra
honestly,
said she doesn't trust Kanye. He has weird ways of thinking, and I can't get behind that. Yeah, but you see what his weird ways of thinking got him? Because he wasn't, as a black man, he wasn't heard until he, you know, had to agree to, or fake, he didn't agree, but pretend like he agreed to Trump's ideas.
I mean, I don't know
That's
anything
really
about.
sad.
I don't know
No, go
anything
ahead.
of. I don't know anything about like Kanye at all, so I wouldn't really give my opinion on this just because I have no idea. Like,
Okay.
because
Someone
that's
asks, "What is this?" Oh, I'm sorry to cut you
Oh,
off, but
I wasn't finished with.
oh,
Yeah, it's a list of the protests that are going to be happening in Chicago for the following week.
no, he was asking about the source for the Kanye. So there's this Instagram account that for many years have been posting on black issues and just stuff that happens within the black community, and it's called the Shade Room.
what?
That's just what it's called because you just have to you don't understand. You don't need to understand. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. It has about 10 million not subscribers, wrong platform, 10 million followers, and that's where we typically get our black news. But it was trending on Twitter, and it was also on there. And he said it in a in a podcast. He said it in a podcast. I'm gonna try to find that for you. But he said this years ago. We all ignored it. And we didn't want to believe. But I actually believe him. But I'm gonna try to find the post for you because the source of where they got that and the video of him at the protest and the podcast of which he has said it is all on that post. So, but if you just go on Instagram and look up the Shade Room, that's probably a lot faster than just me finding it.
But yeah, we wrote down, shout out black creators. So we don't really know what exactly media we should like shout out. So I think we should, wait until we get a little bit of feedback on on our viewers. So if you guys want, you guys can join the Discord and tell us what kind of platform you guys want us to, give our thoughts on what creators to follow. Like if you guys want black TikTok content, if you guys want to be introduced to some more black music, let us know.
Also, support just I don't know. What, like he said,
again,
give us your
won't
feedback.
like even myself, I mean, I didn't really grew up watching Mexican like creators. I grew up watching, oddly enough, European English creators. So, maybe you don't particularly want to, or don't particularly want to change what you watch, but if you're interested in expanding what you like, let us know what media platforms you guys watch, and we'll get you we'll give you a good hookup on some good stuff.
Right. Go follow the Shade Room, all black. It's a company. But
I've never seen this before. I just looked it up.
The Shade Room?
Yeah, I've never seen this before.
Heard of them.
Yeah, because it's more they only speak on like black news, like like that's all they do is speak on like black stuff, like black issues and what's trending in black pop culture, like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to.
If you watch BET, which if you don't watch BET, go support BET. That's a black entertainment television. I'm sure they're running a lot of. I don't watch cable, but I can only assume because that sounds about BT. But I'm sure they're running a lot of stuff related to Black history, and you'd be supporting Black creators, Black artists through that too, if you watch it.
Also, we're
So
about
watch
to
BT.
we're about to hit the 2-hour mark, but before we finish up this podcast, I wanted let me go through my messages because it was my friend that sent me them, not myself. Wait, God. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can find some good stuff that you guys can watch. Actually, wait, Ariana, don't you have a
Yeah, I
document?
made a list. I could send.
Yeah, just send it.
I'll read the list out loud, and then I'll send it to you. I'll send it first though.
Yeah, just send it first. I was like, you'll just be reading stuff, and people are like, okay.
No, I'm not gonna do y'all dirty. I promise you. Let me find my notes here. All right, copy.
Also, if you guys want to be a part of the quality collage, just send us a pic. We'll see if we can. If we get enough pictures, we might just edit it and add more people.
Right. What he said.
Movies. Just wow, you did not put any commas on that.
I did.
Wait,
I
you
did, but that's how it's sent. So sorry,
wait,
guys.
send it to me real quick.
Okay.
Or send it to the Discord.
Will do.
Just send it to the main Discord, so if anybody joins the Discord, they can just go through it too.
Okay. We're
Also,
getting Amber alerts.
Yeah.
Find that kid.
I'm getting Star Wars.
Oh, it was a kid.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ariana, send it to the SoonExistent one, not the.
Oh.
So that if people.
Hey.
Here. So that if people
join
want to join
our Discord. There you go.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's no commas in this, but okay.
Commas in what?
To separate
the
thing, yes. You're just putting
messages. Okay.
You're just putting tabs. It doesn't work. I'll put in the commas myself. But yeah, if you guys want to go through some other Black creators that you guys like, I know personally I listen to rap music, so you know, not everybody does, but if you guys like, there's actually, you can go through our playlist, right?
Yeah, you can link that. Just
the playlist in the description.
Let me just read off the movies. Okay. So, some people have been asking what movies should or would I recommend to help them gain a better knowledge of what's going on.
You know, you can just...
So this is...
You can show these with your family, too, if you want to, like...
Yeah, these are all family movies. Some of them are brutal.
So not all family, but... If you guys want to
but it is still something... Yeah, not to, like... No.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Right. Show it to everybody. But, so... Let's start with the movies. So, Just Mercy. Just Mercy is actually free right now if you have Amazon
But
Prime.
I didn't even know that.
And if you have YouTube, it's free. It's free everywhere, free to rent. So go watch that because of the recent events. That's why it's free. Fruitvale Station is a really good one. It has the same main character from Just Mercy, Michael B. Jordan. Also, if you guys watch Black Panther, you'd know who he is. Killmonger. The Hate U Give. That's a book. Daniela is currently reading it. I have the book. A beautiful movie. Go watch that. Freedom Riders. Recently just watched this on Netflix. If you have Netflix, go watch that. Malcolm X. The history of Malcolm X. 12 Years a Slave. What did it win? An Oscar? It won an Oscar.
I can't remember. But probably wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, The Help. Selma. which came out in like 2014. I saw some beautiful movie. Detroit. Hidden Figures. I saw Hidden Figures 2 starring Taraji P. Henson.
That was a good
movie. So go watch that. Glory Road. Gio doesn't remember this, but
no, I do not.
This.
I have no idea.
In 6th grade. Go check that out if you're into like sports movies, but it's very important to history. Remember the Titans, also another sports movie, but it has Denzel in it. We also watched that in 6th grade. He also does not remember this.
Denzel Washington? Hell yeah, I love
him. Red Tail, about the Tuskegee Airmen. Go watch that. That's very important. Shows. Little Fires Everywhere. Watch that. If you have Hulu, it's on Hulu. That is a really good show. I 110% recommend that. It was trending for a minute. Roots, the old one and the new one. The new one came out in like 2016. So go watch that. Documentaries. Eyes on the Prize.
Wait, hold up. Holy crap. New donation. $150.
Whoa. Wait, hold on. Let me see. I have to check my notification.
Danae Carter?
Oh, you're the one who went to Western.
$150. That's incredible.
Okay. Hey, Bronco, what's up? Okay, back to the documentary. Thank you so much again. Yeah, so Eyes on the Prize. Watch that in history class in 7th grade. It was pretty cool. Very informational.
Also,
Strong Island.
Also, wait, hold up. Sorry. Also, anonymous donor. We don't know if Danae Carter donated the whole 150. Maybe not. Probably, obviously not, because there's two. But also anonymous donor. Thank you.
Let me see.
It doesn't say their name. It just says anonymous.
Yeah, no. Crazy. Thank you guys. All right, 13. Freedom Riders, LA 92. All documentaries that you can watch. And if you have any other movies that you have seen that pertains to what this is, I know my mom watched a movie called Mississippi Burning. There's one.
Also, the one I put in, Do Not Resist, is a great one. It's a really realistic documentary that goes through so many things. Like, I can't remember if it was the first one, but one of the first few things it shows is, the stretches that people go through in order to incarcerate black people. Like, some police literally, incarcerate black people for having like a bud of weed, or like half of, like, a quarter of a gram or whatever. And then it talks about how the police are given all these military weapons that aren't even used by the military. They're not like hand-me-downs. They're literally like straight up military weapons. It's a really good movie. It's not so much one that you want to watch with your family, but it's one that you definitely want to watch to educate yourself.
Yeah. Yep. What he said.
So yeah, thank you so much for donating $290.
Thank you.
And right now, what's our follower count right now? 24.
It's 24.
So if anybody hasn't donated and wants to contribute, go ahead.
When They See Us, I forgot that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When They See Us is also on Netflix. Go watch that.
Bro, I haven't even watched that one yet.
Yes, When They See Us is a show, and just go see that. just go see that one. I heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't seen it personally, but yeah, I meant to add that on my list too. So
I'm trying to think if there's any other one off the top of my head.
I know Black and Blue is one with Tyrese. You can go watch that one too. If you want some movies in regards to like slave times glory with Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You can go watch that too. And everybody's favorite, Denzel.
Well, Denzel Washington,
he's
my boy.
in it. Yeah, he's in there. He's in there. So,
Alright.
if you have anything else,
let me just log into Facebook real quick and just donate it right now. I would have waited until the very end, but it's like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what if people at the end press the button?
How many people? Well, we're about to end anyway. We're about to end the stream like right now.
Okay, well, if you haven't followed us to help us increase the amount of money that we are donating, please press the follow button. If you don't have an account, make one real quick.
And at the end of the day, if you've already donated yourself personally, you don't have to feel forced to do this.
You don't have
but
to.
Also, do go through the resources that we shared, because some of those are, especially the one with the one that talks about the 10 to 25 to 45 minutes you're willing to commit from your day. It's a great one. So just go through the resources if you can.
Right. And if you guys also want to re-listen to this stream, it will be on SoundCloud in a few days. Not in a few days, in a few hours. Maybe an hour from now.
Yeah. You have to download and upload, so it's going to take a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you
to everyone.
We try. We do. And thank you to Sierra. I don't even think Sierra is on right now.
I'd probably not.
But Sierra was moderating.
For a while.
Right. Mark was streaming on his channel.
Which is probably why before you joined you might have seen like us hosting him.
Yeah. But he was streaming on his channel, so
yeah. Very interesting shift, but yeah.
Yeah. It's fine though.
Thank you.
You're donating.
Yeah, I'm donating right now. $24, you know? Let's see here. I'm up. I don't think my computer has. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it does. I was like, I don't think my computer has my current like bank card or debit card saved on it, but yeah, it does. Okay, let's donate the $24, and then I'll show the screen or show a screenshot or something.
Okay.
Wait, is one person donating it? Like, how does it work?
We'll talk about that after. Yeah. We'll talk about that after.
See receipt. Right there. Amount paid. Okay, I'm just gonna screenshot this and then show it in the thing. I probably shouldn't show what card I was using. That'd probably be a very bad thing.
You could be like Trump. Everybody had a field day.
Oh no. I'm trying to check if there's any sensitive information on this, but I don't think so. We're fine. I'll show this on the stream right now, just to prove that we did.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks Record123 Record for saying that you.
Why do I feel like it's? Maybe it is Record. Maybe I'm just done, but I'm reading it Record123 Record. Maybe.
Is there?
Thank you, Cesar. Maybe not.
I don't think it's.
Maybe it's Record.
I'd hope it's not.
Thanks for promoting us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that went out of their way to share our stream and share our our Instagram and stuff so that people saw this more. Because we probably wouldn't get $290 donated if you guys didn't do that.
You're right.
And actually add the 24 to that. I don't know math.
Oh.
I don't know math. Please do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it says it's 314.
Oh, found it. Okay, now I gotta show it on stream. OBS is being difficult right now. Sorry. Image. New image. Browse image file. 24. Okay, wait. Can you guys see that? Oh god. Can you guys see that?
What?
$24 paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
All right. Cool.
So we are at 314.
Nice.
Thank you guys for your follow and donations. We appreciate it once again.
Going straight to protesters that were wrongfully put in prison for showing their stuff.
We are bailing them out.
Bail.
Hey.
So thank you guys. Thank you so much. We're probably gonna have another stream on this. Maybe not next week. Maybe next week. It'll just
whenever we're free. We're gonna figure it out. We're trying to get a set schedule. It's kind of hard right now, but probably once we all go back to school, which is very sad, but we will probably have a schedule of when we will be streaming because we will all consistently be doing something.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Say bye, guys. Adios.
Bye.
Adios.